My story is no better or worse than the next person's, just as my depression was no better or worse, although it felt like it at the time. I thought I had no hope of ever making it back to that place I called life. I thought, too, that I was the only one that felt this way. Depression feels like the most isolated place on earth. No wonder they call it the disease of loneliness. Depression and suicide are huge issues in our society. Every 11 and a half minutes, someone dies by suicide, and there is an attempt every 27 and a half seconds. According to Healthline.com, 7.8% of the US population suffers from depression. But of those people, only about 40% actually seek professional help. For everyone else, and those that suffer with depression, they isolate themselves, only letting a few people into their dark, lonely world. In this piece, we see how the presence of her best friend helped save Sally's life. Shoot the Damn Dog, a memoir by Sally Brampton. I am not an expert, except by experience. For nearly 4 years, I lived with depression, day and night. I thought I would not make it through. I thought, without wishing to be dramatic, that I would die. I wanted to die. At one point, it was all I wanted. That is not something to regret or be ashamed by. Wanting to die, or suicidal ideation, as the experts would have it, goes hand in hand with the illness. It is a symptom of severe depression, not a character failing or a moral flaw. Nor is it truly a desire to die so much as a wish to not go on living. All depressives understand this distinction. On one of my worst days, I was lying on my bathroom floor screaming, calling out, "Will somebody help me? Will someone please help me?" But there's no one there. I didn't want anyone there. I don't want anyone to see me like that. I don't want anyone until the terror gets too much, until I know I am a danger to myself. This is one of those times. And so I make a call to Sarah, my closest friend. We have been friends for more than 30 years. We've seen each other through successes and failures. She has seen me at my best and my worst. And so I call her. She answered and she asked me how I was doing. I know she's at work. She's the deputy editor of a magazine. This office is open plan, so it is difficult for her to talk. Sometimes I call her and just cry because I can't speak. I imagine her sitting at her desk, phone pressed hard against her ear as she searches for the words to say to me. Words that will betray neither of us in the busy impersonal world of work. For a moment, I can't speak. I finally say, "Not good." Her voice is gentle, concerned. I hate that concern. I hate that it is me who is making her feel that way. How not good? Bad. She knows from the sound of my voice how close I am to the edge. I just have to clear something up here. I'll be with you in an hour, less if I can, okay? Okay. I say okay because it is all I can manage. I can't even say thank you. I lie on the floor of my bedroom and wait. I can't imagine why she would want to be with me. I can't imagine what she can do for me. She is even more powerless than I am over this thing. Today, I can't honor it by calling it an illness. Today, it is just a thing that neither of us knows or understands. I hope she won't be long, though. Just the sign of her comforts me. I need her to be with me, even if there is nothing she can say. I am terrified that she will give up on me, that this thing will drive her away. Every depressive has that fear. I mean, why would anyone want us? We don't even want ourselves. Sometimes we try and drive the people who love us away, not because we don't want them with us, but because we cannot bear for them to see what we have become. She arrives, bringing life with her. I can smell it, sharp and clear. Then, just as suddenly, it's gone, absorbed into the dull, dead world of depression. My bedroom smells like a sick room, stale and sad. I wonder if she can smell it too. "Hello, friend," she says, crouching down to hug me. I'm still on the floor. She tosses her bag aside and sits on my bed. "Has something happened?" she asks. Her voice is gentle with that concern. I duck my head, suddenly conscious that I'm wearing the same stained leggings and sweater, that my hair is matted from sleeping, my face shiny with half-dried tears, and that the circles under my eyes look like bruises, dark and violent. Nothing has happened. And it's true. Nothing at all has happened in my world that day. Just me. I have happened. Just a bad day then? I nod. I have summoned her from her work, brought her all this way to tell her nothing. That's unforgivable. I am unforgivable. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I mean, be alive. I can't stay alive if this is what living is. I start to cry. She lays her hand on my head and strokes my hair. She's used to me crying by now. She knows there's nothing she can do. I wrap my arms around myself to stop the pain and the tears. My whole body is racked with it. I'm shaking with tears. I say, if I was an animal, they'd shoot me. They'd shoot me just to put me out of my misery. No, Sal, they wouldn't. Really? They wouldn't? She told me later that she always used to cry when she left me. She used to drive home, tears pouring down her face, saying the same thing out loud over and over again. This is not life-threatening. She is not going to die. My best friend is not going to die. I imagine her driving through the dark streets, crying, chanting that out loud to keep the boogeyman away. There came a point when she would ask me to leave her a message every day. She told me as long as I could say I'm good or I'm bad or I'm shit, that would be sufficient. She just wanted to hear my voice, so she knew I wasn't dead. Often I lied and said I was feeling fine, even if I wondered how I was going to get through the next minute or the next hour. I thought that if I could convince Sarah that I was fine, that perhaps it would make it so. Perhaps saying them aloud could convince myself. Sometimes it took me hours or a whole day to pick up the phone. I often practiced speaking right before I called, trying to inject the words with the right amount of lightness, attempting to get to the end of the sentence before my voice collapsed. If her answering machine picked up, I figured I could normally get through a short message. But if she answered the phone herself, I knew I would be found out. She always knew if I was low, no matter how hard I tried to pretend, no matter how hard I practiced the right careless tone. I could lie to her. My voice could not. I thought we had an agreement, she always said. I thought I could rely on you to tell me the truth. The truth? The truth was that I wanted passionately to be dead. How do you tell your best friend that? How do you tell anyone that? When I actually did try to die, I felt something. It was relief. As I took the pills, I remember thinking with absolute clarity, thank God it is all finally over. I have tried so hard for 2 years to stay alive. I have stayed alive for other people, but never for myself. And I cannot begin to describe the intensity of that effort. I counted the pills after looking up the fatal dosage, added a few more, and I swallowed the pills and I smiled, thinking at last I was finally going to be free. I woke up and felt horror, not because I had tried to kill myself, but an irritable horror that my body had let me down and by insisting on staying alive. In the months immediately following my suicide attempt, I felt that it was over. I had given up. No drug, hospital, therapist, friend, not even death could help me. I was on my own, and the only way through was to take one step at a time. And thus began my long, slow, painful road to recovery. Curiously, I see suicide as this turning point, although it did not feel like it at the time. By giving up on any expectation that anyone could help me, I actually started to help myself. I learned to find gratitude in anything and everything. I'm grateful for the stranger who gave up his seat on the bus for me. I'm grateful for my refound love of writing. I'm grateful for my daughter and my family. But when I look back on everything, I am so grateful for Sarah, for all the hours she sat with me, for all the times she called, all the check-ins. I am grateful that while battling this disease of loneliness, I was never truly alone.